and welcome. This is Ruth, and today I have a video for Tonic Studios, and I'm going to introduce two new die sets. They've just been launched and they're now available on the website. So they're both die sets which can be used separately, but they actually work together as well. So this one is called the Banquet Box die set, and it's got 27 different dies in it. And then this one is the Banquet Box Badges die set, and there are 6 dies in there. So first of all, I'm going to go and have a little look at this one and tell you everything that's in this one and how to use it, because obviously you'll want to know how to use this one separately, and then I'll come back and we'll have a little look at how you can use this one either separately or incorporate it with this one. So if you haven't been here before, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And also, if you enjoy the video at the end, don't forget to give it a little thumbs up, and even if you've time, leave me a little comment. I always love that. So let's get into this video. Let's have a little look at this die set first of all. And I've had a look already, and there's 27 different dies in it, but it doesn't actually just make one box, it makes 2. So there's an outer box and an inner box, and everything is on this sheet of dies here. And as you can see, there are the instructions inside as well. Now, as always, I love to have a look and see what kind of things you can make out of these dies, as well as what was intended. On closer inspection, you can see that this has lots of dies that you could use for card making or scrapbooking or all sorts of things as well, and I always love that because it's good value for money in that case. So first of all, there are these square dies. So there's this one, and then the other one there has a little tab on it, but you could use that in different ways. Maybe a little fold over flap on the front of a card, or this one here is actually an outside circle, and there's this beautiful verso die, which verso, for those of you who don't know, is a die without an outside cutting edge. So this one would cut the pattern into a card, and if you use it along with this one, it will cut the pattern out, and then you can glue that onto a card. But you can use that circle die with any of these ones. Now you can see I've already taped these together. I'm just going to lift them out. I've gone ahead and had a little look at this. So these dies are separate here. You can just see where I set them up. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then this one with the shaped top on it. But you could use this beautiful one with the little cutouts on it with this circle as well, and have that as a separate entity that you can glue onto the card. And then all of these is so pretty that you could use as well. And then there are little flowers that you could use for layering up and whatnot, but the rest of the dies then are more or less specific to making up this beautiful box and the inner box as well. So I have gone ahead and I've picked out some beautiful blue cashmere pearlescent card. I'll just show you the colour of it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got a lovely sheen off it. So I've gone ahead and picked that, and then some paper actually from well, it's an older paper pad that I've had for quite a while, and I don't have an awful lot of it, but I had enough, and it goes beautifully with that. So I'm going to use that on my box today. First of all, it will tell you on the instructions that you'll need to cut out 2 of this outside shape. So I have done that, and then I've also just given it a little mould with my bone folder, so just like this, and gently mould those fibres to give that a little curve. And then I have burnished the score lines and folded them all inwards, and the top one there I think goes backwards, so we'll just do that, and that's it. That's the basic shape, but I'm going to go ahead and create a little pattern in this before I glue it together. So I have 2 of these, and I have the other one ready, and as you can see I've also got the handles on this. Now the handle is from this die cut, and you'll notice in the pack that there are 2 different handle die cuts. One is for the inner box and one is for the outer box, and the difference is not only the size, but this little slit you'll see. You can't see. This one is closer to the top than this one, so this is actually wider at the top. So that's for the inner box, and for this one actually it says cut 2, but I've cut 4, and what I did was I glued them together like this, and just left that little piece open. You see it there? So I've glued two of those together and I've left this little piece open, and then I can just pop this inside. So those two pieces are going to go right over the top of that and get glued onto that little tab, and that strengthens the handle if your card isn't just strong enough in the first place. I'll be doing that in a minute or two, but I'll hold on to that for a second, because first of all I want to take these dies that I used on the front one, and that's why they're taped together, because I've used them on this one, and I just set them onto the card. And I want to make sure if I'm putting this through my die cutting machine after I've burnished those, that they're all flat, because I don't want to cause any unnecessary creasing. And pop that on there, centralize it, and just make sure I'm getting it in the same place roughly as I got the first one, and attach that with washi tape or double-sided tape or whatever. Not double-sided tape, sorry, washi tape or masking tape, because you want it to come off easily as well. And when I run that through the die cutting machine, I'll have this beautiful pattern in this one as well. And as I said, you can use this die with the circle one, and that would create a pattern that you could glue onto the top of your card, but then you wouldn't be able to see through it like that. And I really want to put the inner box inside there so that you can see it. So I'll be right back as soon as I have die cut this and glued my other little part on. And I've just remembered I didn't show you where I got that, but in here you'll find this die, and I have cut that out in the beautiful striped paper, and I'm going to just glue that on there. That's those two pieces ready, and now you'll need to cut this die, this one with the little tab on it, and you cut that out 3 times, and one of them is going to be the base and the other 2 are for the sides. So the side ones you'll leave the panel, the little glue tab on, and that's both of them there, and I'm just going to fold that over. And on the third one you'll just remove that little sliver off with your guillotine or something, just to remove it really straight. So you don't need this piece. That's the other die that I showed you a second or two ago, and you can cut some patterned paper or whatever, and I've cut the stripe as well to go in here. Now I'm going to hold on to those for a moment or two, because I just want to be sure that I'm getting them the right way, because I would like all the stripes going the right way, and I might not do that if I stick it on now. So I'm holding on to this. These are my side pieces and this is the base, so that will go down there. Then we need to make 2 shoulders. So I've taken this die and I've cut that out twice in the cashmere blue again, or blue cashmere, like this, and have again gently moulded that with my bone folder the way I did with these 2 panels. Then there's a beautiful little die here. There's actually a little patterned one too. That's that one. So you could create a patterned panel to stick onto it to glue onto the top, or you could even just use this one and create the pattern in it like this. But I have taken the plain one and I've also cut that out in the patterned paper and I've glued that on as well. So I've got the 2 little shoulders like this. Now there's another die that's like a kind of a strip one with a debossed line down the centre, and you'll want to cut that out twice and fold that along the score lines. That then will become the little hinge which attaches this piece to the side panels, and then that will make the top of the box attach on. So there's what I've done. I have just taken this little panel and I've put glue, I'll show you it actually here, glue along here, and then just centralize that. It's almost exactly the same size, so it's just a little bit of difference in it, so you just want to centralize it. And then obviously you'll be wanting to make sure that that fold is directly on that cutting line there. So just make sure you have that folded like so, and then that will become the little hinge part which attaches this little shoulder, let's get that straight, this little shoulder to the box. You can then go ahead and add glue on here and add this to the side panel, just remembering that the glue tab is at the bottom of this and the glue tab is at the bottom of this, and that way now we know that the stripes will both be going this way as well. So I'll go ahead and glue this to this and all these panels together. That's all the pieces cut and decorated, and it's so simple to put this together. All you need to do is lay it out in this configuration. So you've got a side, a front, a side and a back, and the base here. So we just need to glue the base onto these little panels and glue these side panels together and attach them. Isn't that really beautiful? And actually it's so simple to put together. Now just to close it over, you'll put these two handles together, hold them together, and all you need to do then is fold one of these in and put that down, and then the next one over the top of that. Just beautiful. And obviously you could add lots of different elements onto the top of that, or looks so different in different colours of card and different colours of paper as well. Now I'll pop that aside and we'll start on the inner box. I've got all the bits and pieces cut out for my second box, and you can probably see here I've got my little roll up mat, because sometimes when I'm adding glue onto projects I really use my glass mat whenever I'm not videoing, but when I'm videoing there's always a lot of glare from it, so this one here is really handy, and I can just roll it up again afterwards, and it means the glue is not getting onto my work surface. Anyhow, that's by the by. So for the next one, the inner box, all the instructions again are in here, but you'll just need to take the dies that I've used here. So we've got this inner die. You'll need to cut that one out twice, and then this little piece here that you've cut out before to add the little panels on, the kind of hinges. You'll actually need 8 of them this time. So what we're going to do is add 2 onto the sides of these panels and 1 onto the bottom, like so, and then you'll cut out 3 squares with this little die, and you'll add 2 of them onto the sides of opposite sides of one of those squares. Then there's another little hinge die, which is this one, and that one is smaller than the other one, obviously you can see it there, and that gets glued onto the handle. So you can see here, this is the different handle. It's not the same one that I used on the outer box. This is the inner box handle, and I've glued 2 of those together, folded this little die up and put half of it up inside there, and then the other half will get glued onto here. And as you can see, now that I've turned these over, I've gone ahead and added the little panels on. So this time what I did was I used the same panel on the bottom here. I'll glue this on and that can dry while I'm talking then. So I've used those same panels on the bottom just to keep this all coordinated and all the same. This one's exactly the same here. And then I've taken the other circle die, that's this one, the outside one and the beautiful patterned one, and it actually says "with love" on it, and I wanted to sort of make a slight difference on it from the stripe that I have down here, so I've put that going diagonally on there, and that is the front and back panels then of my inner box. So that's the front and back, and this is the base then with these 2 sides, 2 wings or hinges on it. Then the 2 sides are just the square panel again, which is exactly the same as this one. I don't need to add the wings onto that because I've already added them onto these panels. So I cut out a circle again and I've glued that on. And now to assemble this bit. If you lay the dies out like this, then it's very, very easy to assemble them, and I've put them face up because I always put the glue on here and then add these other pieces up, just offer them up to each other like that, and then press it down, and you can see exactly where they meet because you can see the fold line there. So just like this, and I've got to put glue on here, this tab and these ones, and then I'll put it on the side and bring the whole thing together then. When that's all assembled, that's an absolutely beautiful little box all on its own, and this doesn't actually close properly because it's supposed to go inside the other one, but I think you could just put a little bit of ribbon on that and you've got a really lovely little box. Obviously you can decorate that up and add those little flowers and different things onto it, but as this is intended to be, we're going to open this one up. This is the outer box, pop that one inside, and then the handles go together just like that, and you can pop these over. Now I can't actually just see it too well because I'm trying to watch the camera and the box, but make sure it's in shot. But there we are, you can hold that together and slide this over. Well, that was much easier to do off camera because I was so busy watching to see if you could see it there, and I almost ripped it, but it's actually very easy to put together. So there you are, and you can actually see the inside box through that one, and that looks really, really beautiful. Now obviously the other dies are here. If you wanted to add more decoration to that, you could add this little panel in the blue across the top here. You could add this large circle as I've done in the inside one on here, and you could add lots and lots of little flowers, and you could add a little bit of ribbon on there, and a bow and some things hanging from that as well. But isn't that just so pretty? I added this beautiful little decorative detail onto the front and the back. I was actually just going to leave it, but I thought it did look really, really nice beside that. So whenever I put this box in, as you saw, I had the handles pointing upwards. I actually think they might look better and definitely easier to close if you just tuck them in this way, and then you'll be able to bring these two handles over and close it in the way it was intended. I think this is a rather nice way to do it, and then when we've got it like that, you can add a lovely little ribbon on here and a little bow. Now that leads me on to just giving you the measurements, and then I'll come back with the second die set in just a minute or two. But the measurements for this one are 9.5 centimetres this way, so it's a 9.5 centimetre square base, and it's 15 centimetres from the top of the handle to the bottom of the box, and it is roughly 12 centimetres from here to here, give or take a little, because obviously this moves up and down and will depend a bit on how much you have moulded that and turned it over anyhow. So you can see the second box in through there, and that's really, really lovely. Now I'm going to go ahead now and give you a little look at how you can use these dies, but I do want you to know that these dies can also be used with this because they're interchangeable. These circles are actually interchangeable with the circle dies in this set, so you can use, instead of this round one, you can use this with the pinhole, and you can use this beautiful scalloped one. You could also interchange this for any of these, and I've actually cut a few of them out here so we could have a quick little look, and then I'll use that other one. So we've got It's Your Day, and we've got Celebrate. I actually think because those bursts and whatnot on those, they look really lovely if you put them on iridescent mirror card. I love that stuff. And then we've got the snowflake there. So as I was saying there, you can use these dies with bigger circles. As you can see, that's a circle die from another set, so they don't have to just be on this one that comes from these sets, because you can layer them and get an outer edge on them with a different die set. So that's why I always look through my dies and have a look and see if there's layering circles, because they're so handy with all sorts of things. And instead of going ahead with the sort of the making up of this box again, I wanted to show you that you can use these on cards, you can use them as tags or whatever, but I have already pre-made a little box in the same way that I made the first one, and I'll just turn this over and show you the differences. So I've used the dies from this set this time, and I've kept this fairly plain. This is Navy Dazzle pearlescent card, I think, but you'll see here that one of the panels that I haven't put on yet, I've just left this so that I can show you. So I've cut this out, and then I have taken this. Oh, this is absolutely gorgeous. I love this one. So I have actually just laid that die on top of this piece and then run it through my die cutting machine, and as you can see, because I haven't used the outside edge with it, it cuts the pattern in here and it leaves that that you can see through. Now I could leave that and leave it like this, where it's always going to be like that, but I wanted to back it onto something, and I've picked out some of this Marina Mist iridescent mirror card. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I've put some fine liner high-tack red tape along there, and I'm going to glue or adhere that onto the back of this panel. But I didn't want just that Navy Dazzle showing on top of that, so what I did was I've taken the same die and I've taken it with the outer die. So you can see here it's actually this one with a little pinhole edge around it. I've put my sequin in already to match all those up in case I forgot. And then when I have this on here and this on here, now you'll see that this pattern is slightly different to this one. See the way this one and the next one are just slightly different. Can you see it there? Yeah. So this comes down in one single piece, and then this one comes down and branches into two tiny arms. So that means that this is not exactly the same the whole way around, and that's just beautiful, because I can set that on there and that would be exactly the same, and you'd have the white over that and you wouldn't see the navy one in behind. But what I want to do is just move it one round to the right or left, it won't matter. Make sure all these little pieces are perfectly lined up, and when that's glued down you'll see the mirror card in behind, and you'll see that beautiful little layer just peeking through in different places, and the lovely white that stands out against the Navy Dazzle there. So I've used the same set on all of the pieces, except that on two opposite sides I've done what I've just showed you. Then on this next one, on the other two sides, I've actually cut the die cuts out, backed them onto white and glued them on top of the card. So you can see there that this is actually glued on top of here and not the way this one is, where it's coming through. And then that star is just so gorgeous. I had to use that as a little tag on top. So all I did was punch a little hole in there and add some ribbon, and that's going to be the tag. I'll glue all of this together and then we'll come back and look at it in a minute or two. There they are, that's the two boxes finished. Well, actually three, because we've got the other one inside there, but I hope you've enjoyed that. And these are the little pieces that I can add on to cards, tags, or whatever, but that's really good. And I know for sure there's something that's flavoured with chocolate and orange, and it would fit inside that box. Say no more, but enjoy it. So if you've enjoyed it, don't forget, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Give me a little thumbs up if you have liked it, and leave me a little comment too. And my links to all of these products will be down below in the description, and they're all affiliate links, so I will get a little commission from that, but you don't need to worry because it won't cost you anything more at all, and I always appreciate everybody who uses those. So until next time, happy crafting, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.